Well, good afternoon. It's the eve of the Feast of St. John the Baptist, and for a lot of people, this is a time preparing for ordination to the diaconate and priesthood, and here in the Diocese of St Edmundsbury and Ipswich that will happen on Saturday, and we pray for all those preparing for ordination. And we often refer to this time as Petertide, although that excludes Paul, whose feast also falls on the same day. We celebrate Peter and Paul together this time of year, but we use Petertide to refer to this season of preparing for ordination and praying for those who are called to receive that anointing, that ministry, those gifts, to participate formally in the sacramental and expository life of the Church. I was ordained on the feast of St John the Baptist, and so tomorrow will be my seventh anniversary of ordination to the priesthood. That was on the feast of St John the Baptist in 2017. So this seems like an opportune moment to reflect again on leadership in the parish. We've had two of these reflections so far. The first looked at vision. The second looked at strategy, what stops us from achieving that vision. And the third seems to fall neatly into reflecting on management. How do we put that vision, that strategy into effect? And we're here in ordinary time when the Church is called to grow in the Spirit according to all those things that we've learned through our observations around Christmas and Easter. I've been on the third module of the Strategic Leadership Development Programme, and that's prompted this video in some ways, but again there's been other things going on which seem to be associated with that more formal aspect of leadership and particularly management of the structures of the Church. For one thing, I was made rector. I was collated, inducted and installed into the benefice of Haverhill and Withersfield, which was a joyous occasion, and it was wonderful to be able to celebrate with people. It was wonderful to be able to do it having already been in the parish for 3.5 years. Often those occasions are slightly awkward because they're the first time that the new incumbent has met many from the parish, but this was wonderful to be able to share with so many people what is going on in the life of the parish, not to ignore the fact that yes, as a leader in the parish, I do hold some of that focus for the vision, strategy, management of what's going on in the parish and the benefice, but also to be able to acknowledge that that is shared with so many within the benefice and outside, and to celebrate all that we do together. I was also made a trustee of St Nicholas Hospice Care, which is a very significant charity in West Suffolk and Thetford, who do an awful lot of work, not just in caring for those who need palliative care, end-of-life care, but also for their friends and family, for those who care for them. They have a huge role, I think, in the community and bringing people together. They have a hub in Haverhill, which is a place of hospitality, a place of volunteering, a place for the care of the bereaved. It's a really important hub, and it demonstrates the charity's role in and for the community. And at St Mary's, we've always enjoyed a good relationship with the hospice. We host Light Up a Life every year. This year we hosted a stream of the Thankful, the 40-year anniversary service. So we've always enjoyed a good relationship, and I'm pleased to be able to be part of that as the hospice looks forward to its role in the community in the future. And I think the hospice, actually being part of the oversight of the hospice, has given me some opportunity to think about management, because there's lots of issues facing the hospice at the moment, wider issues, changes in society which the hospice has to respond to, and as a church we are responding to as well. There's been a lot of discussion about essentially what it means to be human. We've got a lot of talk about artificial intelligence. What is human about that and what isn't? How will that replace some of the functions traditionally done by human beings in the past? What does it mean for the church to be able to incorporate AI into our worship? And we did that at Holy Week and Easter in the benefice when we had those images, AI generated images, but still attributed to an artist who wrote the prompts for those. And for me, they were a very helpful aid to our devotions through Holy Week and Easter. They were pictures taken as if they were selfies through the Holy Week and Easter story. And I think they helped actually to capture what it means to be human in that story. What did it mean to be Mary Magdalene in the garden on Easter morning with that concern, anxiety, fear about what was going on, but then that shock turning to joy, turning to hope realised into something that she could feel and touch in the person of Jesus Christ raised again. So that was useful for us to be able to use artificial intelligence to help us to understand what it means to be human. The challenge facing the hospice at the moment, I think, is conversations about end-of-life care, about what it means to live well in older age, questions about euthanasia, assisted dying, questions about what it means to be sick, to be cared for, what that does to us as human beings. There's lots of questions being asked, I think, at the moment. And I think for me that is what it means to be in management, is to be able to be aware of those questions, how they are going to affect the communities that we serve, and how as communities we can best respond to them. As a church, we've been working our way through issues in living in love and faith, and part of the management of navigating that discussion is to be able to give people the opportunity to engage, to respond, to give their feedback, but to be able to ensure that the issues that are facing us as a community are brought into perspective. I think with living in love and faith, some of the concerns about that are not necessarily about same-sex relationships. They're about how we read the Bible. They're about how we make decisions as a congregation. They're about what does it mean to bring a new perspective onto a faith that we have loved and lived for all our lives, and then to be told to look again at what we've understood. And it's a real challenge. So part of the management of a church, of a congregation, of a community, is to ensure that we are actually looking at the right questions and dealing with the right issues, and allowing people to talk about those, and not just to assume that we have a vision, we have a strategy, we know where we're going, and that everybody is on board with that. We know that this is a diverse church, and that our work is to make sure everybody feels included, everybody feels known and loved by the God whom we proclaim. As we look forward, there are lots more opportunities, I think, to think about our leadership and management structures. As a diocese, we're going to be going through a lot of change, with both bishops moving on. Bishop Mike to Exeter in September, and Bishop Martin retiring in February next year. So I think these questions will continue to play on our mind, how we fit into a bigger structure within the diocese and within the national church. It will be an opportunity to think about how we manage ourselves and how we relate to that. It's also an opportunity, I think, to look out to our community and reflect again on how we relate to the community. So again, there's been some opportunities recently to be part of the civic life of the community. So we were present at D-Day, and I led some reflections at D-Day. And again, that's a challenging moment to say to the community, what are we here to reflect? We're here to acknowledge the sacrifice made by very many men and women and families who were part of the Normandy landings or were affected by those back home, but also to recognise that war is sinful, is evil. War and that sort of destructive conflict, it does not bring us closer to God. It divides, it hurts, it kills. But our God is a God who can transcend those things and can forgive us and redeem us and bring us hope. It's also an opportunity to acknowledge that there's lots going on in the world around us which are concerning, and but that shouldn't detract from our commemorations of what has happened in the past. And balancing the past, the present and the future is one of today's challenges, I think. So that was an opportunity for the church to be able to draw out some of those different issues in society at the moment. Again, we welcome people for Suffolk Day last Friday and use the church as a place of hospitality. And again, just to say, well, what does it mean to be on the edge of Suffolk but at the heart of something really significant here in Haverhill? So lots of issues, lots of ways that we can manage this process of relationship and development that we are all going through and always renewing, and which always needs management, which always needs prayer, which always needs intentionally refocusing, so that as churches, as communities, as people, we can ensure that we are continuing to follow the Spirit where the Spirit leads. The next module for the Strategic Leadership Development Programme is not until November, when I will have the opportunity to go on pilgrimage to Berlin to be at the heart of somewhere that has dealt with issues around conflict, legacy, history, and that will be really interesting. So I expect the next of these reflections on leadership in the parish will not be until after that. But this is always a good way to reflect on the way that as churches we do offer leadership. I offer leadership to you, and we offer leadership to others, called to do so, and to remember and reaffirm that call now during Petertide, when we are celebrating the ministry given, gifted to many new people and to many of us remembering the anniversary of our ordination and our commissioning as ministers of the good news. So thank you for being part of this journey with me as a priest over the last 7 years, with me on the SDLP for the last 6 months, and in the parish for the last 3.5 years. And I look forward to all that God does for and with us in the future. Thank you.